Oh, welcome back to the Big Six Shenanigans. It's a series in which I'll be talking about every single Big Six side in their game this week. And this week, I used to pray for times like this. Liverpool 2, Manchester City 0. Liverpool have now beaten Real Madrid and Man City in a span of 4 days. The two biggest enemies of this football club. They've taken how many trophies away from Liverpool, and they've been packed in the same week. Liverpool are now 11 points clear of Manchester City. Imagine! Surely that's the title race over then. I don't think City will be able to recover, especially with the performance they put out today. Let's actually talk about the game. Manchester City were absolutely dominated today. Those first 20 minutes, Liverpool were suffocating them. They couldn't breathe. They had chance after chance after chance. City couldn't do anything. And eventually we got our goal. Trent placed a sublime ball to Mohamed Salah, who manages to find Gakpo at the far post. And I have a question. Kyle Walker, where were you? You're supposed to be marking Gakpo. How can you let a man that free at the far post? I'm not complaining, of course. We're 1-0 up for the first time in how long? And then after that, we were so close to scoring twice. Van Dijk had a header go just wide, and Trent had a shot that nearly went in two. And then Manchester City registered their first shot the entire half. I'm telling you, domination like this hasn't been seen against Pep Guardiola before. To have only one chance the entire half is crazy. And it speaks levels about how good Liverpool have been defensively. And in the second half, Van Dijk had another header tip right over the board. Van Dijk could have had a hat-trick of headers today. And then after that, Manchester City had a tiny spell where they had the ball, and Bernardo Silva placed the slowest back pass ever. Salah intercepts it, and I'm thinking, yeah, this is 2-0. The game is finished. How did he miss that? He could have squared it to Soboslai. How did Mohamed Salah miss that? He's one of the greatest finishers of all time, and he could have scored one-on-one past Ortega. I was so shocked I couldn't believe what I was watching. And then after that, I started getting a little worried. 75th minute, if they get one jamming goal, they just equalize. But thank God Nunes came on. He pressed the life out of Ruben Diaz. And then Luis Diaz picks up the ball, gets fouled by Ortega. It's a penalty. And this time, Mohamed Salah doesn't miss. He may have missed one against Real Madrid, but he was saving it today for Manchester City. Slots it bottom right corner, 2-0, and game was sealed. Man City could not have come back after that point. And in my opinion, they are well and out of the title race. But there are some City players where I want to talk about. Philip Foden, where were you today? I said it last week, you have more appearances with Ice Spice, yes, the singer, than you have good performances this season. This has to be the most embarrassing PFA Player of the Year defense I've seen yet. And Erling Haaland, bro, stay on ballet. Where were you today? Virgil van Dijk had more XG than you, and he's our center back. Anonymous again. And then Pep putting out 6 fingers for the amount of league titles he won when the Liverpool fans were trolling him. Yeah, you've won 6 Premier League titles, that's cool, but you've also lost 6 of your last 7 games. Also, Liverpool have won 6 Champions Leagues, if that was what you're referring to. And I want to show you guys a tiny clip I made before we had this run-in. We'll beat Southampton, we'll beat Real Madrid, and we'll beat Manchester City. The only time we'll drop points is against Arsenal. You have heard it here first. Like I said during that live stream, heard it here first. Let's move on now. West Ham 2, Arsenal 5. Play the clip. West Ham, please turn up. I need a draw minimum against Arsenal. Last time Arsenal came here, they scored 6 goals without reply. Do not allow them such leeway. If I'm being 100% honest, Arsenal's gonna win this game 3-0. But that's not what y'all are here for. I'm gonna go for a 2-2 draw. West Ham, please turn. Look at these guys. Look at them. West Ham, I had faith in you. I had faith in you. I said don't lose. But you concede 5 in one half. What part of don't lose did you not understand? Maybe it's the way I said it, but don't lose and conceding 5 are not the same thing. I said you lost 6-0 last year. Do not give them such leeway. But you gave them such leeway in one half. Not even in the full game. One half of football, you just opened your legs. And bro, every single Arsenal set piece is a goal nowadays. Like it's gone to the point where their center backs have trademark celebrations. How can a center back have a trademark celebration? During the week when they played Sporting, Gabriel's family was sat around the TV watching an Arsenal set piece like it was a penalty. It's gotten to the point where we're treating their set pieces like penalties, man. This is not fair. The black magic they have on their set pieces needs to be nerfed. And West Ham are terrible at defending. Look at their second goal. Odegaard puts a chip button behind. Nobody's marking Saka and Trossard. He passes to Trossard and it's a simple finish. And then the third goal, Saka wins a penalty. Odegaard makes it 3-0 in 30 minutes. Like, West Ham has to be doing this on purpose. They want their manager to get sacked. And then 5 minutes later, Odegaard puts another ball in behind and Havertz is there to finish it. Where is this West Ham defense? That West Ham defense has been split open more times than a hooker's legs, man. By that point, the game was all over. Emerson and Wan-Bissaka tried giving me some tiny hope, but I wasn't falling for it. Talking about Wan-Bissaka's goal, that ball from Soler, peach. That's probably one of the assists of the season already. And then Emerson scored a free kick on top of that. Both goals were beautiful. They did really well to score those 2 goals, just for them to give away a penalty before the half ends. Saka converts it and it's 5-2. And speaking of Saka, he won a penalty, he scored a penalty, and had 2 assists today. What a performance. He has to be the best right winger in the world. After Mo Salah, you thought I was gonna forget? Arsenal fans have been comparing him to Salah. Like, Salah is up here. Bukayo Saka, he's reaching it. Maybe in 5 years, come back and chat to us. But again, it's a really impressive win from Arsenal. 3 wins on the bounce. Manchester United, I have never asked you guys for favors. Please don't lose on Tuesday. Speaking of Manchester United, they beat Everton 4-0 today. This is a really good win for them, to be honest. They almost drew with Bozo Glimt on Thursday, man. To bounce back and beat Everton 4-0, wow, that's a statement from Ruben Amorim right there. I'm kind of glazing because I need them to beat Arsenal this week, but hey, let's move on past that. That first goal was really lucky from Rashford, to be honest. Ball comes in from Bruno, he just hits that, and Brandway actually just taps it into his own net. But hey, a goal is a goal. And this is where Everton absolutely decomposed. Pickford gives it out wide to the center back, and he gets dispossessed by Rashford. Rashford gives it to Bruno, who was able to tee up Xerxes for his first goal since August. I was surprised that he got on the score sheet, to be honest. But again, the lack of awareness for that is embarrassing. Second half, you're supposed to bounce back, of course, trying to chase the 2 goals you're down. But Everton kick it long, and they immediately concede a counterattack, which Rashford scores off of. And at that point, Everton were finished. They were not getting anything from this game. And in the 4th goal, the Everton defense are dilly-dallying once again. This time, Amad Diallo picks it off the center back, sends up Xerxes for his 2nd of the night. And people are going to be talking about, oh, Rashford scored a brace, Xerxes scored a brace. What I'm going to be talking about, Amad Diallo got 2 assists. Once again, I don't care if Kwame Dingle or Lil Xerxes wants to score 2 goals. Amad Diallo is one of the only players at Man United I tolerate and I actually think is good. Yeah, he might have knocked us out the FA Cup last season, but other than that, I really like him. I think he's really good, to be honest, and I can't believe Ten Hag did not play him when he was there. And Manchester United completely picked him apart. Now, please do not lose against Arsenal, man. Moving on, Chelsea 3, Aston Villa 0. You know what? I'm sorry. I said that they're not going to win this game, to be honest. You know, I thought Chelsea were going to give them some points, take them out of the hood, but they absolutely demolished them. Speaking of that first goal, really tidy finish from Jackson. This is Jackson's 8th goal in the Premier League. He's been on fire, to be honest. The fact that people had the gall to compare him to Xerxes of all people. Xerxes did score a brace, but let's be honest, he's not really that good. And then Enzo Fernandez scores their 2nd. And what's going on with Enzo? Ever since he broke up with his girl, he's been cooking up 10 out of 10 performances. Was having children that much of a burden? I don't get it. Really good finish from him too on the volley. Fair play to him. I still think McAllister's better, don't get it twisted, but he's pretty good. And then second half, Palmer wraps it into the top left bin. And Chelsea are now joint 2nd in the table. Arsenal only ahead of them on alphabetical order, so they're basically 2nd right now. And fair play to Maresca, this is his first season at Chelsea, and he's taken them from the slumps of Pochettino to the highs they're at now. And I want to talk about one Aston Villa player. Ollie Watkins. Brother, what was this stinker? Genuinely, Ollie Watkins against London clubs is literally the worst player of all time. I needed him to perform against Arsenal. He had a blank game. He missed like 3 sitters. And today he missed another 2. He has to be the most overrated striker ever. He is horrendous. I will never rate this man. I cannot rate him. And all we have left are the chicken boys. Tottenham Hotspur 1, Fulham 1. And once again, I am not surprised. I have huge gripes with Tottenham, man. The amount of times they can capitalize on something and they just don't. Like, I pity every single Tottenham fan in the world. How can you beat Man City 4-0 just to draw with Fulham at home? Johnson had a really tidy finish. That cross from Timo Werner was good too. But then to not put him away after that. Kearney, what a strike from him, to be fair. But you cannot be drawing to Fulham. And speaking of Kearney, he scored an absolute banger and decided to leave. His job was done. But Tottenham again and again are bottling it. I said in my prediction video, Spurs will be Spurs. And they're still Spurs. I don't know when or how they're gonna get over this, but this is horrendous from them. And just because there are Premier League midweek games, I'm going to give you guys my predictions for each one of them really quickly. Southampton versus Chelsea, I'm going to go for a 2-1 Chelsea win. Southampton did really well against Liverpool and Brighton, but just like in the Liverpool game, I think Chelsea will be a level ahead of them. Man City versus Nottingham Forest, I'm going to go for a 2-1 City win. Nottingham Forest have had a really good season, but after that 3-0 drubbing on Arsenal, I've lost confidence in them. I don't think that Pep will allow another loss, and I'm actually going to back them to win for the first time in over a month. Newcastle versus Liverpool, I'm going to go with a 3-1 Liverpool win. Newcastle have been on and off this season. They beat Arsenal, but lost to Brighton and West Ham. Liverpool are on a high, beating Real Madrid and Man City, and I think that will just pick them apart here. There is no Isak either in this game. If Isak played, it would have been a different story. Arsenal versus Manchester United. Now, for all I want Manchester United to beat them, they probably won't even get a draw. So I'm going to go with a 2-0 Arsenal win here. Bournemouth versus Tottenham. I'm not going to back Tottenham anymore. 2-1 Bournemouth. And that's going to be it for this week's Big Six Shenanigans. Let me know what you guys think, of course. And have a blessed day. Goodbye.